Hello and welcome to Torpid Casts. Today we're going to be witnessing Pano, who is really Piano, playing as the Apothecary. You know what I realised? Space Marines historically on the channel, and actually contemporarily in the game, are everywhere. So I just assumed there was a mass amount of replays of Space Marines, but actually I was looking and there isn't. Thanks for Mr. Tom Derry in the Discord pointing that one out. We've got a bit of Space Marines, not Ordo Malleus Grey Knights, actual, normal Space Marines, because it has been a long time. And Piano is going to be playing as the Apothecary here, generally considered the weakest of the Space Marine heroes at the moment, and probably has been forever, really. Certainly in 1v1, maybe not in team games. He's going to be facing off against the Lord Commissar of Jones. Lord Commissar, I think quite obviously the best IG hero in 1v1. But Jones doing something exceptionally odd here, not going for a Sentinel, so I have to assume he's going for some sort of weird heavy weapons team double Cadachans gameplay maybe? Or one Cadachan double heavy weapons team, I'm not sure. Heavy weapons team against Space Marines feels a bit for me because of the fact that you have to deal with the infiltrating grenade throwing scouts potentially. Quite hilarious seeing the guardsman running into melee there, catching the scouts kind of out of position. So yeah, fast heavy weapons team. And going to be mirrored from Piano. Fast Devastator squad. Now, obviously Tactical Marines are a lot more expensive than Guardsmen, hence Jones has the double gens already up and Piano has none. But let's see what kind of advantage you can make. The problem is that the Lord Commissar is a lot more impactful early on than the Apothecary. I guess this is scouting. He'll only see 2 gens. Oh, he's actually going to go for the early flamer push. If you could get the devs over here, this could be effective, but obviously right now, Guardsmen can just grab flamers in this patch, because I'm not on the most recent patch yet, and that would be a problem. So he's actually going to cancel his gens that he's building here, allow the IG to potentially go for flamers, and try and rotate his devs down here to support a gen bashing push. But the Commissar's going to delay, and we have Cadachans en route. They're all reliable, we'll be able to do some good damage to things in the building, and if we use the execute from the Commissar, you're talking... Can it wipe a Devastator squad from full health? I'm not sure if it'll wipe it from full health, but it will do crazy damage. You see there, the scouts actually got the jump on the guardsman. I don't know why the scouts just retreated. They would easily win that fight in melee. Okay, the sergeant came. Fair enough. It's different if the sergeant arrives. But I'd have still stuck around to force the sergeant to come. And here we go, the ever-present flamers on the side-capping guardsman without the sergeant. You do have to right-click again though when the new weapons come in. There we have it, they're going to take down the power node. Can just try and repair it whilst shooting. A bit slow on that. Obviously the flamers would out DPS it anyway. Yeah, they got to get away from them flamers. Scouts will get roasted. But the Tactical Marines did quite well down here. Used the garrison to force off the Lord Commissar. Bashed both of the gens. Jones is going to replace them gens. And Piano has got a split farm. So he's had his natural decapped. Apothecary is doing quite nice there. Going to force off these guardsmen. They can't take the garrison against him because of the flame attacks rotating over. So scouts can do their capping. But now we've got a problem. We've got Cadachans and heavy weapons team rotating down this side to the now primary power farm of Piano. And he's departing. Is he just going to cede that? He's kind of caught with his pants down here. Sort of dragged left and right. The IG player all over the map. So those Flamer Guard did get forced off. Bit of a shame really. It'd have been better if they could have got in the building and keep putting pressure on that side. Tactical Marines getting tied up by the Lord Commie right now, but honestly, yeah, you've got the Heavy Bolter covering this angle anyway, so not sure. Yeah, the Commie doesn't need to be in melee with an attack there. Got the suppression. Cadachan's going to go into melee. No, they're going to rotate over, try and deal with the scouts. Kind of whiff their old reliable right there, hitting the wall instead. Cadishans do have to be careful of the flamer. As you can see, it does a tremendous amount of damage to them because of how much they blob all their models. And there you go, you got the 1-1-1-1 build out of Piano here. He's got his ASM out, and that will counter the heavy weapons team. And that is why I expected from Jones either 2 Cadishans, 1 heavy weapons team, or 2 heavy weapons teams and 1 Cadishan. If you lay your heavy weapons team, then they won't be so easily countered by the ASM. And of course, Cadishans are the best counter to ASM in the IG roster, so if you have 2 Cadishans, you also will be less vulnerable to ASM. With the current composition and no Sentinel, honestly, might be an idea to go Sanguine Chainsword on the Apo. I know that Piano right now is kind of struggling really bad when it comes to a lack of power, but it would be so effective. Increasing his damage by a lot, 25 to 40 DPS is a pretty gigantic rise. Healing him so that he doesn't take any damage really from shotguns and lasguns whilst he's in melee, and giving him increased charge range as well. So he gets into melee to tie up these threats and to circumvent potentially the heavy weapons team as well. Could be quite good. The problem right now for Piano is that he is quite behind in tech. He has failed to get his generators online as fast as Jones, and even though Jones did have 2 of his generators bashed, Jones replaced those gens really quickly compared to Piano, and Jones had the gens up sooner because remember, Tactical Marines are more expensive than Guardsmen. So the result is Jones is now going tier 2 and Piano is nowhere near. He actually has the power, but he doesn't have the wreck, which is quite odd, I guess because he's just had to replace these gens. Remember, he spent 25 over here and he spent 30 here and then 45 on the ASM, so quite a lot more. Well, actually Jones now has pretty much matched him with these 2 war gear purchases. Both of them, Tactical Marines and the Guardsmen, both got flamers, so that's similar. But you can see the overinvestment from Piano is generally proving quite effective right now. You can see how the minimap is turning more and more blue. If you can get a little gem bash in here, Piano, then he'll be in a very good position. I don't know if he's going to be able to though. He's currently losing more gens, which is not ideal. But there's nothing really to stop him. Cadishans are pretty much countered by the flame attack, so that's a good situation for him. Apo's going to come back out and get onto the natural VP. This is a bit of a problem. This Power Sword Commissar is quite brutal against the ASM. They're going to go in or not? They don't want to fight the Power Sword, and there's nothing really to defend at this point because he's already lost the node and the gen. Yeah. Trying to get the Arc of Fire from the Devastators there to protect the ASM from the Commissar. Yeah, there you go, that's alright. And potentially a wipe here on the Heavy Weapons team. Tactical Marines in retreat, they've got a wipe, haven't they? There's another jump from the ASM too, doesn't even need it. Nice. Yeah, good. It was a good setup there. That's potentially a big deal because that could have been a las cannon to deal with a Razorback or an Assault Cannon Dreadnought from Piano. Chimera is the purchase for Jones. He is ahead in tech, so it makes sense, but yeah, Chimera against the... I hate this, man, that they just swap out to plasma guns. It's so dumb. I'm so glad that's getting changed. It's really overpowered. Because yeah, Chimera, only a piercing damage vehicle of course, as all transports are other than the Falcon. It's not that effective against Marines. Wow, we already have the las cannon, that was quite fast. Yikes. Ooh, just skirted around the Arc of Fire right there. Gonna have to get out of here though, the Chimera. It would be scary because of the potential of a missile. What the fuck was that range? Holy shit, it must have been just on the edge there as the las cannon wound up its shot. Wow, that's mental. Right, Guardsman, you've got some duties to do. Get over here and repair your damn Chimera. If he gets the double plasma gun, you know, he will be able to trade quite well here. Wow, Piano going for a whirlwind? That is crazy. What the fuck? I do not recall the last time I've seen a whirlwind on 1v1. I don't actually think it is a bad idea, really. the extra spike damage could be all he needs really to take out the Chimera, and it's a good map for it with the elevation and stuff. You can hide up here and shoot down and be a pain in the arse. And certainly you can stop people from capping this VP. Remember, no Sentinel. If there was a Sentinel, you would definitely not go for the Whirlwind, because the Sentinel would just get the missile launcher and kill your Whirlwind in 4 shots, or 2.5 to the rear armor. That'd be terrible. But there's no Whirlwind. Look at this. Instead, you've got an absolute gaggle of guardsmen running around, and the Whirlwind doesn't do any friendly fire, so this is pretty effective. But Plasma Gun's very effective as well against the ASM. No hail from the airport. What's that all about? Finally picked up a master-crafted bolter there on the Apothecary, but yeah, the guardsmen just reinforced off the Chimera, and you're in trouble. Nothing actually to deal with the Chimera in the back lines there. But it, you know, it does feed XP to your Space Marines, and it does bleed the requisition of your foe. Now we have 2 fully upgraded guardsmen, so these have got the Sarge and the Commissar, and that means that they're actually quite high in pop. But ironically, if we look at the pop cap still, only 49 pop right now for Jones, and 70 for Piano, so there you go, Space Marines very high in pop. So let's have a look at the Wreck Income. Yeah, well, in spite of it, Wreck Income right now looking quite good for Piano, but that's because he's got this contested, giving him plus 25, and this contested giving him plus 30. So if Jones can get that under control, he might be in a good situation. I was going to say he might want to get some Stormtroopers. He could honestly consider just getting a default Guardsman squad as well and just running around capping with that. But he's going to go for the Ogrins. He's a Lord Commissar, so he could get the Aura of Discipline with those Ogrins, and that would make them much more durable as long as they can maintain close proximity to the Lord Commissar. We'll see how they do. Obviously, Tactical Marines themselves can get a Plasma Gun just like the Guardsmen, and that could be quite scary for Ogrins. But on its own, it's not going to be that bad. Apothecary could get the Power Axe, but he's already gone for the Bolter. So yeah, maybe this is a good idea. It's kind of annoying that the Whirlwind will knock these guys over though. This is nice though, just farming Guardsmen with your Bolter Apothecary, giving your Apothecary potentially quite a large increase in XP. Though he doesn't seem to be killing any for some reason. Picks up Armor of Purity, bit more HP. Wow, that's actually quite a large HP regen increase for the Apo. I didn't realise it was so high. What the fuck? I think that's a little bit overtuned. Well, whatever. Apothecary sucks, apparently, so can't really complain. Still feel like Sanguine would have been better. Like in that instance there, he probably wouldn't have lost attack, because the Apo would have just charged in with Sanguine and tied up one of the Plasma Guardsmen. Right, what we got here? Have we got Ogrins inside the Chimera? Yeah, we do. So they're going to get out and start attacking the Whirlwind. But there is a Last Cannon Devastator right now, buffed by the Librarian with Quickening. Ooh, actually used his thing in the wrong direction, really. Should have used the Force Barrier this way to knock over the Ogrins, and then the Whirlwind could have drove through it and escaped. Oh, that was a bit of a fuck up. Yeah, Commissar just tied up the Last Cannon. Ogrins took out the Whirlwind. Nice little Vanguard attack there by the Ogrins out of the Chimera. Cool. Wow, he's replacing the Whirlwind. I am surprised at that. Scouts doing their job down here nicely. Let's see if Jones has just sent them onto the VP and then risks getting grenaded if he's not paying attention. Nah, he's watching. That's alright, yeah, he's got it. It's alright, he's got it, he's watching. Because let's face it, he's not fighting anything over here. But he is capping. Wow, Bionic Eye over the Aura of Discipline right now. Interesting. Scouts still in play. You can see here the Scouts' bolters do have longer range than the Kadishan shotguns, so the Kadishans at max range, the Scouts can't fight back. So your Scouts can harass them if you micro them. Didn't really micro it there though, Piano. He was looking over here instead. Yeah, full auto is pretty nice to control the Commissar. That is probably the big advantage of the bolter. Oh, no, it wasn't a Whirlwind. It was a Razorback. Or maybe he cancelled the Whirlwind and went for the Razorback. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Because as you can see, it can tank the Plasma Guns quite effectively and bleed the guardsman. Or not bleed the guardsman, because it doesn't seem to be doing any damage. What the fuck? Big force barrier, nice smite. That will soften up the guardsman models, so you can bleed it with your Razorback. Probably going to want to get a plasma gun at this point on your tactical marines though, because those Ogrins are looking kind of invincible at the moment. I have to assume that second Ogrins is unintentional by Jones. Surely, yeah. You probably just want to go tier 3 at this point and get a tank. He has AV arranged with the Sergeant on the Cadishans, but it's obviously not very reliable against transport. He also has the Ogrins for heavy melee, also not reliable against transport, but you kind of want tier 3 ASAP, right, to get the Lehman. That will definitely bust the transport, but you might feel like you're under a lot of pressure. It's going to take a lot of time to get that, so you might get a last cannon. Yeah, which is probably what he's doing right now in the meantime. He has the time though, because he's got 292 VPs to the 180 of Piano, so he definitely has time to wait and get a tier 3 unit out instead. Bonk. So let's see what the plan is. It's kind of cool to see IG without the Sentinel. I think IG is so cracked right now, guys. As long as it's not the Lord General. I think if you're playing Inquisitor or Lord Commissar, oh my god. Those heroes are busted. I don't find them very fun to play at the moment though, which is so sad when they used to be my main. When you learn this new meta of not fully upgrading Guardsmen as soon as they're in combat and relying on your auxiliaries, your Stormtroopers, your Ogrins, your Cadishans constantly, IG just become insane. But yeah, without the Sentinel, they're certainly quite a bit weaker. That is for sure. They would be pretty terrible against mass melee, but of course, Space Marines can't do mass melee. Dreadnought. Okay, interesting. I wonder, is he going to even bother making that assault cannon? Probably not, right? It's these Ogrins that have been a bit of a cunt right now. You're just sort of avoiding them capping around the map right now with Tactical Space Marines, but his real answer to actually hurt the Ogrins is a Plasma Gun Tactical Marine squad, which he is using for capping. I'm not really sure what the point of these scouts is. They should be capping. There is a las cannon roaming around here that did snag the Razorback. Well, that was a weird bionic eye execute. So you can tell they've got that thanks to the yellow circles. So extra speed and immunity to suppression, but I mean, what the hell? Why use it from that far out? Ogrin models are expensive, man. That doesn't seem very worth it. Good thing is, he pushed up so far that he's seen the Dreadnought come out of the base, so Jones has seen that now. He's going to be going tier 3. I guess that gives him a confidence. He's super far up on VP. He's 270 right now. And yeah, he sees the Dreadnought. He knows his opponent's likely stuck in tier 2. So he's got time to tech up. Sternguard drop for Piano. Pretty cool. I like that idea. Good against the current comps that he has to fight. Yeah, Dreadnought running in is going to be scary for Cadishans. They have that. They're really vulnerable to AoE damage, and the wrist-mounted flamer, as well as the splash damage on the melee attacks. It's pretty scary for Cadishan Devils. But the IG kind of just in stalling mode right now. Wow, that's a lot of damage coming in from these guardsmen. Tempting the kill there on the commie. One more swing from the Force Staff would have got it, but he was miles off, to be honest. And there you go, look at all that damage mitigated by a nice fat heal from the Apo. Isn't it beautiful? A little bit awkward trying to repair this Dreadnought. The beautiful thing with the Sternguard purchase is now he's justified in running his tax around capping. Because he's got Sterns as a primary range DPS in the army versus army fights. Going quite deep here though, Piano. Let's see. Chimera's in the back. Oh, that's good. IED. He didn't use it? Librarian taking a lot of focus fire right now. Still not using the IED. There's the Bionic Eye, but the Ogryns get stunned. And yeah, the Dreadnought needs to stay in action right now, and therefore... Oh, wow! Holy shit! I don't think that was an intentional IED explosion. I think the special attack there from the Dreadnought blew up the IED, and that really hurt the Ogryns, and it also killed the Lord Commissar. Holy crap! Only one ASM model went down as well. Now Guardsman potentially in a bit of trouble. The Dreadnought's not meleeing though. Whoops. Okay, I think it's going to run back. Devastator last cannon in the back has persuaded the Chimera to leave. And yeah, I like this by Piano. He's not staying to bash the gens. It is kind of too late for that right now. He's down to 58 VPs. He just needs to be careful right now, because if he commits too much and has his whole army forced off, he could lose potentially 2 VP. It could go to a 2-0. This and this would get caught by Jones, and this would get decapped, and that could be the end of his 58 VPs. GG. So he's playing it safer. The game's really late. There's a lot of power in the bank for Jones anyway. It would still help him, help Piano to bash these, but it's risky, and I don't dislike that he is not taking that risk. Bullgryns are now called in, so a little bit less effective against the Dreadnought in terms of chasing it down and killing it, because they're slower, but more resilient, more HP, and also when they're in melee, they will take less damage from range attacks. That's going to be changed, bug fixed in fact, because it is a bug. They're meant to just take less damage from range attacks, period, thanks to their slab shields. That will be addressed in the next patch. So it'll be a nice buff for them, effectively. Going from only getting 25% damage resistance when they're already in melee, which is a little bit late. The idea is that you take less damage when you're running into melee, not only when you're in melee. So they're doing their job here, they're leading the charge, just being extra tanky. Piano buying time with a force barrier, but not really that effective because he's not able to output any real range damage whilst he's doing it. It's a shame Piano isn't tier 3. The Orbital Bombardment would be beautiful right now to grab the heavy weapons team and one-shot it, and then plant some more to try and grab the Guardsman. Let's see. Smite and Quickening. But now that's worn off, so the Librarian will be taking real damage now from the guns. Dreadnought getting focused down by the last cannon. Nothing's tying it up. I don't know why the Dreadnought's re-engaging. Librarian and ASM just going to tie up the Guardsman. But the Devastator is too far away. Okay, now the ASM... Oh, they didn't tie it up, but they just de-set up anyway, which is kind of weird. Wow, Force Barrier cooldown's quite low, isn't it? Well, of course, with the last cannon heavy weapons team tied up, the Dreadnought is free to engage. But now the ASM have disengaged, so too does the Dreadnought, fearing the retribution of that last cannon. And another Bionic Eye execute, but kind of like, why? What for? Sternguard Hellfire rounds plus Apo Bolter doing some serious damage here to the Guardsmen. They're wiping. Oh my god, he moved them way too far away from the Chimera. Where is the Chimera? Oh, the Chimera rotated all the way over here to try and deal with some tactical marines because they're decapping the back lines. Oh, shit. He sent the Cadishans in, did Jones, to cap this point, and he did successfully cap it. Something needs to get on that point. Maybe a last cannon? With one of the Guardsmen down, and the other Guardsman capping over here, the Chimera is not really that important. It just does a trivial amount of piercing DPS, not really a big deal. Another Bionic Eye execute. Bullgryns are trying to reinforce off of the Chimera, but they're going to get stunned by the Emperor's Fist. Bang. Chimera too far away to get the full reinforce, and it can't even move up thanks to the last cannon in the back lines. Oh wow, Chimera living on 1 HP. I think the Bullgryns... Oh wow, are they going to drag this down? It's so close. Oh, the special attack! The special attack. God damn. Special attack saves the Dreadnought. Chimera going in to get the reinforce, and the Bullgryns gets it. Is Emperor's Fist back? No? This is so... Yeah, they've got too many models, my guy. That was not a very good idea. If you had Emperor's Fist, that would have worked. Fucking hell, we've got P-Devs now. What the hell? ASM over here dispatched the Guardsman. Guardsmen probably should have broke their retreat with a Commissar and started shooting them with plasma guns. These ASM are very low on HP. The game is becoming critical in terms of VPs right now, but there's not enough units for Jones, I don't think. Yeah, Bulgarin's in retreat, Commissar dead, heavy weapons team down. No good. ASM can jump on these Guardsmen. They probably should. He's gonna back out. Just jump on him. Delay them. You got the 3-0 cap. He's gonna win. Jones can't possibly get out in time. Wow. Yeah, big throw from Jones there. Man, I don't even know what the fuck happened. Angels of Death, beautifully used by Piano there in that final engagement. Why he went for Bulgarins prior to the Lehman Russ, I am quite unsure. It seems quite obvious you're fighting a Dreadnought, you go for Lehman Russ. There was only a las cannon. Just tie that up with your Ogrins. And I don't really think the Bionic Eye worked out at all. It kind of wrecked Jones' economy. He executed a lot of Ogrins and even Bulgarins in the end there. Really to no avail. It's a good war game, but you've got to time it right. He was executing them when they were way out of combat. And they just didn't achieve anything. You know, Piano just backed off and was like, okay. Yeah, I'll just wait that out. Cheers for killing an Ogrin, mate. And then just went back into combat afterwards. So, generally with that war gear, you want to get into combat because one of the big advantages of the Bionic Eye, I can't show you it here, but it heals the other models in the squad when you execute the one dude. So it's suppression immunity, it's the common double damage that you get from any execute, and plus speed. And it heals the other models in the squad. So the idea is your Ogrins are already fighting, they've lost 30% health, but they've still got full models. Execute one of them, and then the other models will all get healed to full. And then you can combine that with a use your head, which knocks the enemy over, and then you've got double damage and a speed boost, and you can't be suppressed. The enemy is knocked over, and then you get wipes. But if you just use it when the enemies are all like here, and you're down here, they're going to see it coming, and all they need to do is use one source of knockback, which the APO has plenty of, and they just walk away, and then it wears off, and it's like, yeah, you just paid, what is it, 56 or 60 requisition and 12 to 15 power for an Ogrin model. Really expensive. Nevertheless, it's nice to see Jones playing there without any Sentinel. Cool to see. And nice to see some APO and some Space Marines. Question for you guys is, how much Space Marines do you want to see on the channel? Let me know down below. That's going to be all from your boy STT. This time, I am signing out.